How was your day at the ocean, by the way? It was good. Unfortunately, low tide isn't until 10 p.m. tonight. So, didn't get to see many critters, but we're in the wrong time of year for low tide to be at a convenient time of day. Because lunar cycles. But, okay, we're officially at the edge of the spawn radius for items, which means we need to die. Someone asked me if I found a sea star, I would keep it, and like, no. Yeah, do not keep them. The sea stars you find on the beach are more than likely still alive. Under no circumstances should you take live animals from their habitat. If they're on the beach, should you put them in the water? If at all possible. Some of them, like a lot of the species that live around where I live, will adhere themselves to whatever surface they're on. That's just what they do. That's what they're designed to do. So if they're stuck to something, don't pry at them. However, if you see one kind of freely out of the water, like on sand and whatnot, put it back in the ocean. Because not all sea stars are designed to be tidal. So they will die if they're out of water for too long. It's also one of the big reasons I really hate people, like tourists, taking photos with sea stars when they like hold them up, you know, out of the water, because it's like that can seriously injure those stars. It stresses them out, and they can die from that. So, never do that. Like, seriously, never take a sea star. How difficult is it to pry one? So one of the most infamous studies involving sea stars was Robert Payne's 1966 Keystone Species paper. Like, this is the paper that defined what a keystone species is. Robert Payne is the guy who made it up. It's a hugely important like ecological benchmark. It's a hugely important one. And his methodology for obtaining his sea stars, because he was doing exclosure zones, meaning you can't have sea stars in a specific area to see what will happen to that area without the presence of a species. Also, we didn't get islands, so we restarted. But like, that's one of the hallmark studies, and his methodology literally involves using a crowbar. So take that as how hard it is to remove sea stars. If they're stuck, they're stuck. It's not worth it. You're gonna, especially because they're designed to adhere themselves to rocks. Like the kinds you find around here are built to survive low tide, like out of the water. They can do that. But that means they suction themselves against rocks to prevent as much water loss as they can, because sea stars don't have blood. They just have seawater. And so, like, you don't want to take these animals out of the water, because it's literally like if you just drain someone of blood. Because they have, if you flip a sea star over, you'll see all these little tendril thingies. Those are called tube feet. Those are how it moves. At least in the majority of species. But yeah, so if you see a sea star on the beach, don't pick it up. I have gloves that I wear that are dive gloves to pick up stars and whatnot, so that even like the oils from my hands can stress them out. Echinoderms, you are correct. Can you tell me what echinoderm means? Is the question. Echino means spiny, derm obviously means skin. So it's basically spiny skin is echinoderm. The technical term for those things is ossicles. That's what makes them spiny. It's most notable in urchins. Urchins are echinoderms closely related to sea stars. And so obviously their ossicles are a little more pronounced and a little more pointy. But that's what gives sea stars their textures, their ossicles. I also learned what sand dollars look like alive. Yeah, sand dollars are a family of urchins, basically. And oftentimes, at least, especially the species that lives around where I live, is very dark in color. Which a lot of people, I think, don't realize. I think a lot of people think they're always that kind of pure white, which they aren't. That's their skeleton. Also, another thing you should never take from the beach unless you are dead certain you know what you are doing. Like, the amount of times I've had to physically stop people from taking sand dollars from, like, research areas is insane. It's like, that is a living animal. No, you cannot keep it as a souvenir. Like, dead ones? No. Some of them were definitely still alive. How do those suckers move, by the way? It's basically, think of it as like a little hydraulic pump. That's the best way to describe it. They're basically mini hydraulic pumps. And so they'll have tons of them. It's not like because obviously most species of sea stars have 5 arms. Certainly not all of them. Okay, we got another bad island. Yeah, we're thriving. You can see how many of them there are. It's not just like 1 or 2. There's a ton of different pictures of them. Yeah, so it's basically like a tiny little conveyor belt. Well, they look kind of like walk like this, but with a ton of tube feet. They're also so you could see in that picture how there were things attached to the bottom of it. That's because it was trying to eat rocks, which sea stars do quite often. Also because if you're ever in a situation where someone offers you a sea star as a souvenir, absolutely do not take it. It was a huge problem in the Bahamas because Oriaster reticulatus, the red cushion star, is like one of the most iconic sea stars, at least in terms of tourist photos and whatnot. And the way sea stars die, when they die in the water, they usually disintegrate, which is really cool. It's how, their nutrients get redistributed rather than slow decomposition. They're invertebrates, so they don't really have a lot going on. They're basically rocks with skin. And so they disintegrate when they die, which means if you're ever offered a souvenir, it's more than likely that that sea star was intentionally killed to be a souvenir, which is terrible. So if you look at like a ton of the ones you find in thrift shops and whatnot, you'll notice that the back is missing, which means it was gutted while it was alive so that they could preserve the outside shell. Please make your sub badges different sea stars. I was considering it because like my personal favorite sea star is Pycnopodia helianthoides, or the sunflower star. Those little funky guys are a meter across, which is 3 feet for those of us who only use freedom units. They're huge, and they're actually the fastest moving species of sea star. They're native to the kelp forests around where I live. They're also critically endangered right now. My invertebrate zoology professor in my undergraduate called echinoderms the aliens of our planet because he thought echinoderms were just the weirdest animals, which I don't disagree with. Although there was a really interesting study on Rathbanaster californicus. I don't know the common name for that one, if I'm being completely honest, which is a very close relative of Pycnopodia. It lives in the deep waters off of the California coast. That proved that the Rathbanaster would eat fish by using basically a pom-pom of spines, which is one of its obstacles. Super cool. Just imagine a little sea star eating a live fish. Nifty. I love nature. Or that species of sea star that I showed you the picture of earlier. Those guys eat by basically prying open muscles with their legs, so they'll go like this and they basically suck onto either side and pry it open, and then they evert their stomach. So they'll put their stomach inside of the mussel or clam shell and basically let all of its digestive juices do its thing, and then they'll slurk it all back up. Friday segments are now just you browsing YouTube telling us facts. Yeah, I have plans to do like a tier list of marine animals at some point. So if people want to send me their favorite marine animal, I'd be happy to explain it and then what I think of them. Why is the dark part of the ocean so scary? Because the things that live in the dark of the ocean have evolved to never interact with literally anything. Sea star brain bigger than mine. Sea stars don't have brains, so I would certainly hope not. Do tilapia live in the ocean, or is that a lie? Again, there are some species of tilapia that can go in salt water and survive, but they do not. They live in shallow salt water. They don't live in the open ocean, which is what bothers me. As I am still speedrunning, even though we're talking about the ocean. They really said the world is all ocean. Let's keep 5 species of saltwater fish, and chose tilapia. Yeah. Which is why, I love this game. Don't get me wrong. There's a reason I run this game, right? Because I love the ocean. I love everything in it. But holy crap, is it that hard to find other species of fish? Even just something random. I think it would be really funny if they added wahoo in, because wahoo is a deep water fish. It also just has a really fun name. Crocodiles should be in here. Yes, salties are a great thing. I love saltwater crocodiles. They're cute. I googled saltwater fish and like 30 or so fish scan. Not one was tilapia. Exactly, because tilapia are primarily freshwater fish. Perfect timing. Good job, me. Grab a dry brick. Research. 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 Perfect. That was really good timing, actually. Come up here and make smelters. Okay. Not bad. Let's hope we get lucky with secondary island spawn. I need 3 more copper. Okay, everything is going according to plan. We've got our copper. Put the things I need to smelt in my hotbar so they're nice and accessible. Put the spear on the end. The spear is the thing that needs to be the most accessible. Okay, make the 1 hinge we need, then move it over to bolts. Make bolts. Okay, 1 antenna. Make that now. Put that up there. I suppose I can make the receiver since I have everything for that. I'll go ahead and place that down. Oh wait, it was already facing the right way. Shuck. Then put in the battery. Okay, now we just need, we're really close actually. Okay, good. Make those, them up here. Good. Good. That's that. Okay, we are going this way. Let's go. Now for everyone's favorite part. When we paddle. Coming up on it. Good, good. Okay. Go through here. Nice. Oh no! It ate my jump. My jump got nommed. I'll go for the other jump another time. I'm sad. My jump got nommed. Okay. Not sub 50. Not the worst. I know I can do better, so I'll have to try again another day. But for now, that's a new PB. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And as always, have a great day.